What is cloning? Cloning is actually a technique scientists use to create exact genetic replicas of genes, cells, or animals. Cloning happens in nature, for example, when a cell replicates itself asexually without any genetic alteration or recombinations. There are two types of cloning. The first one is therapeutic cloning, which creates embryonic stem cells, and the second one is reproductive cloning, which creates copies of whole animals.
So I'm going to explain a little bit about what is mini-heart cloning. So let's get to know the researchers. The first researcher is Aguirre, and he is an assistant professor of biomedical engineering at MSU. His research on mini-heart cloning was done in 2020 and still ongoing until this day. The second researcher is from Hong Kong, and his name is Professor Ronald Lee, and he is the founder of biotechnology company known as Novo Heart. He also studies in section of cardiovascular cell and tissue engineering. Mini-heart cloning is not for transplant but for medical research and studies. Since this miniature heart can be as an actual heart, the study of new drugs can be done to cure diseases, especially cardiac disease. Second, drug test and compatibility can be done ethically. Scientists doesn't need to risk someone's heart and life just to do a drug test. Moreover, this technology helps in medical advancement for a heart transplant. Drug compatibility can be done on that mini heart to observe the patient's immune system reaction, whether the body accept or reject. This makes heart transplant procedure become simpler. And finally, the root cause of cardiac disease, such as heart defects, can be studied more deeply and makes it easier to cure the disease. Mini clone heart characteristics can be seen as below. The main source to create this miniature heart is from the patient's own blood. The blood will be turned into pluripotent stem cells for further development. The size of this mini clone heart is as small as fetus heart, and the duration of forming this mini clone heart takes about 6 months, and the survivability of this mini heart is about 3 months in the lab.
In heart cloning process, the therapeutic cloning will be conducted. Therapeutic cloning is specialized for this process because of its ability to produce an embryo from which to harvest stem cells. A stem cell is a cell that is able to reproduce indefinitely and develop into other types of specialized cells. For example, reproduce as nerve cells and muscle cells. When cells specialize like this, scientists call this as differentiation. What the next is that the things we need for this process is cell, which contains a DNA, is taken from the person who is being cloned. Then inoculated eggs is fused together with the cloning subject cells using electricity.
Now, I'm going to show you how to make 3D heart model using recycled material.
Okay, next, we will discuss about the advancement of heart cloning method brought upon the human world. Through this cloning method, we can produce a new heart with many quantities. It is a good news for our world because it may reduce the number of crime in organ trafficking. As we have known, organ trafficking is a very violent crime that happens in the world. Therefore, through the cloning of heart, it will make our world become more peace and no more the crime of organ trafficking. Furthermore, due to this cloning method, it has saved millions number of people that have a problem disease with their heart. Therefore, right now they can continue their life because this cloning method of heart. So what I can conclude from this cloning method, it have shown that the cloning method have advancement for human and the world.